What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be playing a DIMIR control list, and it contains arguably, in my opinion, one of the best cards from the new release of Crimson Vow. And honestly, it goes without saying, this might be my favorite card in a long time. We're talking about the Hullbreaker Horror. I'm about to show you just why it's so busted. Cue the intro. Let's talk about it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today we have an absolute incredible list for you, and it all revolves around this Hullbreaker Horror. This might be honestly my new favorite card, my favorite card in a long time. This thing does some seriously disgusting things, and I'm going to break all of that down for you and how this deck works. But before I do, as always, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, I just ask if you take one moment to do so. It is a free way to help support the channel. And if you hit that like button too, I'd really appreciate that as well. You know, all the cool algorithm stuff to help boost the video will always be much appreciated. I really appreciate that, guys. Let's dive in, talk about the list, and then we're going to get right into the gameplay footage. So, the Hullbreaker Horror, if you're not familiar, this is a brand new card from Crimson Vow. It has Flash. It's a 7/8 body for 7. Already pretty cool. It can't be countered. Okay, it just got a lot better. Here's where it gets fun. Anytime I cast a spell, any spell, I get to return target spell or return target permanent to the controller's hand. What does that mean? Well, it means a lot of things. It means you get unlimited divided by zeros as long as you're playing spells. So if you've got a board state full of creatures facing you down, you have a horror, flashed in on the end step, all you have to do is play 1 or 2 cheap spells, and those things are all bounced back to our opponent's hands. If they try to play a kill spell against your horror, all you got to do, play a cheap instant spell. Boom, you got to divide by 0. Put that back into your opponent's hand. So the horror, the horror protects itself really well once it's resolved on the battlefield. There's not a whole lot your opponent can do about it. And like I said, it's a 7/8 body. It's going to keep smashing your opponent's face over and over, and it's going to clear up the lane for itself, so nothing can stop this thing. It is busted. And how did we get there? Well, we've got 4 Fading Hopes in the control shell. We got a lot of bounce spells because we can also use it with our horror for cheap bounce back to our hand if we can't figure out a way to deal with our opponent's spells. We've also got Wash Away, a brand new card. We're running a full play set of these because of All Runs Epiphany and those Is It decks. You're able to counter a spell for 3 just like any other counter spell, but this also has a cleave cost to it, where we can just play it for 1, and then we read the bracketed side of this card, which says we can counter spells that are only cast from places that are not our opponent's hand, which is the Foretell slot, All Runs Epiphany, or the Flashback Position, Memory Deluge. So this is a really good card against that deck. It shuts it down pretty hard, and it's very cheap for 1 mana. And then we've got 3 Siphon Insights, just a really fun card to help us not only mana fix our deck by stealing our opponent's mana, but we can also steal some of their win cons. Again, if we're playing mirror matchups, control matchups, we're going to get into our opponent's hand, try to steal their own epiphanies, things like that. So Siphon Insight, a great card here. We've also got Cram Session. Keep in mind, these are all just supposed to be very cheap instant or sorcery speed spells just to trigger our horror as much as we can. We got Cram Session though, which is going to gain us 4 life at the beginning of a game. It's going to also mana fix us by going into our sideboard and grabbing Environmental Sciences. 3 Divide by Zeros just to, again, disrupt. We're just trying to disrupt till we get to the horror and win the game. We've got Soul Shatter for Goldspan Dragon, and I think it's honestly one of the best removal tools right now. The fact that it is instant speed is very helpful, and it gets bypassed through the Goldspan Treasures, Toski's indestructibility, all sorts of stuff. So Soul Shatter, very, very good. 1 Inscription of Insight, because it's a very nice touch to this deck. It's kind of a nice little piece to just throw in here and have a utility to do a very big thing at the end of the game. For 8, we can kick this thing and just do a number of things. 4 Memory Delusions for card draw, and then 4 Shadow's Verdict for obviously those aggro lists, especially mono green. It's everywhere right now. And then a 2 All Runs Epiphany, because once we get down the horror, if we just cast an All Runs Epiphany, typically it's over, so we don't need a full play set of this, just a couple of them. And then we got 1 Hall of the Storm Giants and 2 Field of Ruin. That brings me to my sideboard. 2 Environmental Sciences, 2 Teachings, 1 Introduction to Prophecy, 1 Introduction to Annihilation, and 1 mascot exhibition. That's gonna do it for the deck breakdown, guys. This is the deck. Have fun watching the videos. You're gonna want to stay tuned because these games are awesome. And we'll see you back here at the end for some final thoughts on how we thought the games played out. See you guys there. Peace. All right, we've got a really exciting list for you guys today. It's gonna be a DIMIR list with a Kraken, the new Kraken from the Crimson Vow set. This is a really busted card, if I do say so myself. It is very wild. It once resolved, pretty impossible to deal with because it's got a very good built-in protection clause on it. And this is a snap keep, and the reason it's a snap keep is because we have the cram session here, which is going to find us our blue source. Found it anyways, so that's nice. So let's go and grab a teachings instead because it looks like we're up against a control matchup. So drawing cards is going to probably be the thing we're going to be wanting to do the most. I like that we have wash away here. We've got a pretty good build up around a control matchup, except for Shadow's Verdict. We got the wash away, which is really nice. Teachings and Memory Deluge. 3 very solid cards. All right, right away we cast that Teachings because we don't know when we're going to have an opportunity to do it again, because if we cast the Deluge, then we no longer are able to get value out of it. Cast a turn. I don't know if do I want to cast my Memory Deluge now? It could get Jawari disrupted. I feel like it's worth it though to try because it does have the flashback ability, right? So let's just go ahead and try it. All right, neither Soul Shatter or the Showdown were going to work, or Soul Shatter, those were not going to work. So let's go ahead and just do it like this, and might as well go to the sideboard here because we don't want to lose out on discarding here anything good. So let's go to our hand. We've got 7 cards. Let's cycle away 1 because we don't want to discard the hand size. We do find our Kraken, nice, and we have Fading Hope to kind of protect it, so kind of nice. Opponent goes for an expressive iteration just to get some more value. Sure. All right, they got another iteration, weren't able to play it. They missed the land drop. That's really big for us because anytime you have a control mirror, it's going to come down to who misses land drops the most, really. I really believe that. That and card draw. So us having siphoning insight here and, you know, hitting our Memory Deluge as early as we did, so good. This is bad though, because if we take it and we cast it, it becomes flashback for them. Which I don't like. I don't like at all. So I'm gonna do this. I'm just gonna keep it and hang on to it in case of emergency. All right, that's fine. I can't counter that because they cast it from their hand. But if they cast it again from flashback, I can go ahead and hit it with the wash away for 1. Nice. We get their All-Runs Epiphany. That's a really great steal. A land off the top would be the most ideal thing to see here. Nice, we hit it. That almost never happens. And then we got the Kraken coming in on this end step here. Opponent does have enough mana though to cast an All-Runs Epiphany. Could just counter it for 1 if I wanted to though. But they just foretell instead. Probably another All-Runs Epiphany, I'm sure. This can't be countered, but it can be bounced with the Fading Hope. Or divided. That's something they could do too. All right, are they tapped out? They are. I could use their own All-Runs Epiphany here, but then for what purpose would that be? Yeah, let's just go and pass the turn. Let's keep the Kraken ready to go. They're going to play Academic Probation, which is annoying because they know we have the Kraken. Let's try it again. let's just keep having them use their resources over and over. I mean, it's something they have to answer repeatedly. Otherwise, once it resolves, like I said, it's pretty much over. So unless they have another answer like Fading Hope, or which looks like they do. Yep. It's fine. We just keep doing what we're doing. Eventually something's gonna give, man. We got a Fading Hope now to protect our own horror. Case of like some sort of weird random kill spell that can get it. I don't foresee that happening. Okay, I can't play the Kraken this turn. Big deal. We do have better, I mean not better, we have other great options that we could play here, like the Memory Deluge. It's fine. Use up your washaways while you can. Until, let's see, until your next turn. So if I all runs Epiphany, it doesn't actually bypass that, unfortunately. So we'll pass the turn here. We will pass the turn. Go ahead. This could be a Doomscar, by the way, which is not that scary either. It hits. My turn. Oh my goodness. And that, my friends, might be enough to get the job done. Let's go ahead and attack here. That might have just done it. It is on the field. It is resolved. We're dealing damage. Not looking good for our opponent. We have counters held up. Okay. If that's the case, we will bounce yours. Ooh, will they bounce? Oof. This is a tricky combo, actually, because if I play the memory, let's say I play the Memory Deluge here, and then I use the bounce effect to bounce their Kraken, they could have 1 mana spell and bounce my Kraken. I'm gonna still do this because I think that's highly unlikely that that would happen, but you never know. Looks like they might. Looks like they got a 1 mana spell. No, they don't. Nice. Yes, please. That was really nice. Fading Hope. Fading Hope. I really don't want to use this, but I feel like I have to. Oh, I feel like I have to, man. No, I think we let it go. That's annoying. That is annoying, but I think we have to let it go. All right, we'll do it like that. We'll get rid of those 2 cards because they're definitely not going to play any sort of factor into this game. It is funny to see everyone else playing Kraken too, man. This is our first game with the Kraken, and here we are right away with another opponent playing Kraken. Soul Shatter's actually a great card against the Kraken. Let's pass the turn. What do we discard, man? This is tough. Okay, maybe we don't have to discard. Maybe we don't have to discard. Let's go. Let's go, baby. We have a perfect target. Yep, they get that. They get to draw the card. We give them that all day. It's not great, but we give it to them for sure. We can't, unfortunately, cast our Kraken. 2, 4, 6. Okay, we could play this. We'll probably just grab this because we're going to have to discard the hand size here. Ugh, there goes our Kraken. We got to stop that from being cast, so. Which means we do get to keep the environmental sciences, though. That's kind of nice. That's kind of nice, I guess. This is just gonna be a long game. Whenever you get into you know, a mirror matchup with control against control, this is just what happens. You just got to be patient. You got to know when to pull the trigger. And the fact that we stole one of their all runs epiphanies is so clutch here for us. Let's keep thinning out our deck here. Let's grab another blue source. Hit our land drop. No need to worry about our decks getting milled here. We're not anywhere near that yet. Let's bounce it back to their hand. We can play ours next turn. We got to stay ahead of them on the Kraken game, man. We got to get ours down first. We got to find more of those soul shatters. Those are a really good answer for the Kraken for sure. Because they're instant speed and we can hit them when they're, you know, low on mana. Memory Deluge. They don't have a whole lot of great answers for our Kraken. Bounce spells is pretty much all they have, so they can't actually kill it. So ours is a lot more dangerous. I think I'm gonna play it again. We just got them to use that. We still had Divide. We still have Soul Shatter. We still have counter magic, so I'm gonna play it again. Doomscar. I just wish I had something I can get a lot of value out of, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I do this or anything else, like the bounce spell just, the bounce effect just won't be good. All right, there we go. It is what it is. Doomscar does get us on our heels here a bit. All runs Epiphany. Easy counter. Easy counter for us. Let's try it again. We're going to keep trying and keep trying and keep trying until it hits. So at least now we can actually soul shatter and wash away. Solid wash away. All right, here we go. Let the pain begin. We are back on track as far as getting our opponent dead. So let's go ahead and try and see if we can get this to resolve. Nice. Boom! We got them with their own all runs Epiphany, baby. That's a solid win. GG. This Kraken is busted. I'm telling you guys, man, this card is amazing, man. And if we can figure out a way soon on like a reanimator type list to reanimate this thing, jeez, man, it's gonna be incredible. We get to go first. Great starting hand again. I like having these because they work for any sort of matchup. If we're up against control or not, they're just great to just try to figure out, gain some life, figure out what we want to do. They're great for mana fixing because we get the environmental sciences down. So we're up against Gruul, so we're gonna need to find a Shadow's Verdict, and we're gonna need to find it very quickly. So that being said, probably go Memory Deluge next turn. We'll take a bit of a beating here, but we did get a pretty good bump there with the 6 life. So we could take a couple of shots here from this pack leader, and we can just go for the Memory Deluge here and hopefully dig out a Shadow's Verdict. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Got Wash Away in case something goes sideways for us here. Ranger class, why not? Hopefully hopefully commit a little bit more to the board. But the problem is here is the pack leader is going to attack here, and they're going to draw 2 cards, which is really annoying. Because even if we Shadow's Verdict the board, they're going to refill their hand, and then the Shadow's Verdict is basically a wash. So it's not very fun. Not very fun. Not the greatest pulls off the top. It's not a Shadow's Verdict, so it's not what I need. This might be able to help us find it. Come on. No, no dice. No dice, huh? Okay. If we don't find it, we probably lose. Probably just lose. That would suck. Pretty bad. Taking a pretty big shot here again. Ouch. I wish these washaways were Fading Hopes. We'd be in a lot better shape. They're gonna have to discard the hand size already, which feels bad. 2, 4, about to be 6. I can't cast all runs yet because we didn't foretell it. Probably should have focused more on that, but it's okay. All right. So we're definitely playing Soul Shatter, and then we'll probably counter something here. That's what we'll do. We'll Soul Shatter, counter whatever the next spell that they play here is. Could be a Planeswalker. Could be the Werewolf Planeswalker, and we are correct in saying that. So there you go. That's taken care of. Thank goodness. We take 4, 5, 6. We take 7 damage here, though. We do get out 2 blockers next turn, but they can be dealt with so easily with mono green lists, because mono green tends to play the Blizzard Brawls, and I'm sure they have 3 or 4 in their hand right now, so I'm sure they'll deal with these birds like it's nothing. Sure. Here we go. It is our turn. Let's get the Field of Ruin down here. Let's get some blockers like we said. That's pretty sweet. It's actually really sweet. Okay. So we'll do that. We'll kick it. Huge. Huge. We get the token gone for good, and we get to draw some cards. We get a Shadow's Verdict. Let's go. Okay. Both of these can absolutely stay. We get a big token here. And yeah, pass the turn. I think we might be okay now. I cannot believe it. I thought for sure we were going to lose this game, but I think we might be okay. Let's see how much they commit to the board and if it makes sense for us to verdict or not. We'll see. I mean, if they just unload here with just a bunch of 2 drops or 3 drops, might be the time. We'll see. They only have red mana left over though, so probably not. I mean, there is the hasty werewolf that comes down, but they don't play it. Okay. I still have enough blockers here to deal with this. I might just... I don't want them drawing cards either, you know? Tough. I think I let it go though, because I think I can deluge here and make some blocks. Deluge big time here, grab another verdict, and we can kind of 2-time the verdict situation here. That's not bad. Let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have plenty of mana to Fading Hope. We can Fading Hope the wolf here. They're going to the attack step, so I don't want them drawing a card, so bounce that one. Save myself at least 1 card draw from our opponent here. Plus they pumped all that mana into it. Snakeskin Veil. If I cast this now, I might be able to find another Fading Hope. Perfect. Another deluge. We'll take it. All right, we're looking good, man. We're looking good. Let's go. And they're going to run right into a brick house of a 5/5, so they probably won't even swing in here. Nice. So far, so good, man. So far, so good. Sure. More of a reason for me to play Blizzard Brawl this turn. All right. I'm not Blizzard Brawl, a Shadow's Verdict. Okay, so I could just wait one more turn. I could be pushing it, but I flash in the Kraken. That leaves me with 3 mana. I don't have an instant speed 3 mana play here. Might not be the smartest play. If we go here, I can also Memory Deluge. That's definitely the play, right? If they find a hasty creature, I can counter it. So we'll be all right. Hopefully. Hopefully. Like I said, this is werewolves. They have that red hasty werewolf, man. Stormbreaker that comes down and just immediately swings in for 3. They also could be running a Goldspan Dragon, which I don't think that's going to be the case. They look strictly werewolves to me, but you never know, man. You never know. Come on, one more. You got one more creature in you? You got one more. Come on. All right. Definitely you and probably you, right? Okay. So I'm going to do something a little bit crazy here. I am going to pass the turn. I have a Kraken now, and I have a Fading Hope. So what's going to happen here is I'm going to play the Kraken, flash it in, play the Fading Hope on one of these, and then the other one will be bounced by the Kraken's effect if I want it to be. I'll probably end up bouncing the Ranger class with the effect of the Kraken. All right, here we go. Let's get it in. Let's get it in now. I don't want to click too far and have the game's priority not hold up and skip over my ability to play it. So here comes the Hullbreaker, baby. Let's freaking go. All right. Block you. See what sort of nonsense they got. I'm sure they got something here for me. So far, they don't. So far, they've got nothing. I do have a counter, but not the typical kind of counter here. Don't need any more mana, I don't think. Don't know why they used their mana to pump that. That's kind of odd to me. Kind of scared me, to be honest. Let's see what they do with the rest of their mana here, because they've got a really big grip of cards in hand. That's what scares me, is how many cards they actually have in hand still. But what should scare them is how many Krakens I have. Alright, here we go. And with the Kraken too, guys, it's whenever I cast a spell. It doesn't have to be an instant sorcery. It doesn't, nothing special. If I cast another Kraken, things are getting bounced. So if I play this Kraken, we bounce something. We play Insight, we bounce something twice. So let's see here. Whenever this is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to any target. Ooh, that's not good. Because they could actually just target that to fight stuff. They don't have burn spells, right? If they burn it, I'm in trouble. But I could bounce it, so that'd be fine. They're tapped out. They're not gonna like this next play because they can't attack in with that pack leader, unfortunately for them. That is pretty darn good, right? I'd say so. I'd say so. just swinging with one here. And the reason being is because, again, we're just trying to avoid that hasty Stormbreaker. We have ways to deal with it. We can play the Memory Deluge. We can play the Insight. We can bounce to targets, right? But we could also counter. We have options, but I just want to be on the safe side here because I have lethal either way, and I might as well just not leave myself open because I wouldn't have been able to kill him with another 7 damage. But on this next turn, I can kill him with, you know, both of them attacking anyway. So might as well leave up defenses when you can. That's kind of my thinking there behind that. I can't believe how close to death we got here, and we still pulled this out, man. We were looking pretty weak there, but we found the Shadow's Verdict just in time. There we go, sure. They still don't see it though. They still don't see what we're about to do, which is a little crazy. We have two horrors. Like you'd think you know what's coming here. They can see my Insight and they can see my Memory Deluge. That's why I'm confused as to why they think the game isn't over yet when it clearly is. There we go. Let's go, baby. The Hullbreaker horror for the win, baby. This might be my new favorite card. Good game. All right, this definitely will be our last game, and we'll wrap it up here. But man, oh man, has it been fun. It has been a good time. This is not a good hand, but we are on the draw. We might be able to make it happen, but that would be a silly keep if I kept that. Let's just do like that. This is not exactly a great start either, but... And of course we're up against All-Run Epiphany, which means that last hand would have been much better because we had counters in it. So that's unfortunate. We get all runs of our own here. Probably not going to win this one, guys. I'm going to be straight up with you. This is just an unlucky matchup here, and we took a bad mulligan, but you never know. You never know. We go through with it. We see what's going on here. We do have a Soul Shatter, which does shut down the Goldspan Dragon pretty hard. If we really have to top deck a land drop. If we miss a land drop here, that could be the key to actually losing the game. If we hit the land drop and we get into our Memory Deluge on time, we're in really good shape. So we'll see. Looks like they're finding their all runs Epiphanies though with no problem. We do need this card, but a land would have been the card we were looking for. So they're off to the races and we are frozen up here. There it is. Okay. You're saying there's a small chance here. You're saying there's a chance. No Jawari Disruption, please. I don't really have the luxury of not playing, you know, of playing around that card. Because if I don't play the Deluge here, we're just too far behind. And we don't even get a land. That's a little crazy. Okay. This wasn't meant to be, unfortunately. Unfortunate. We have such great answers, though, to their actual plays. We just gotta find mana. Without mana, we can't do anything. Come on. Quote of the century, guys. Without mana, you can't do anything. Quote of the century. Can you give me a land? Maybe your deck has land on top of it, because mine sure doesn't. I can't find any. Can I try again? I mean, that is land. Definitely not the land we were looking for, though. Not the sort of land I could have held up blue mana for to counter stuff like the Deluge. So, we're going to hope and pray our opponent allows us to untap without them doing anything this turn. But they are at, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8. So they can actually Galvanic Iteration here right into an All-Runs Epiphany, which looks like that's exactly what's going to happen. And that, my friends, unfortunately is going to be GG's. We'll let them play it out here for just a moment longer and see just for sure, because we do have, you never know, we do have freaking Shadow's Verdict. Could sweep the board here pretty easily, get it done, but they just foretold 2 more times. I guess we're just gonna find out and see just how ridiculous this thing can, you know, can go off. Let's find out. Should be fun. I'm really not scared of the All Runs Epiphany matchup though. I'm really not. This particular matchup that we had in this game, you know, just a bad mulligan early, not finding mana. I just kind of knew it was going to happen. You could just kind of tell right out of the gate that they were going to get off and do their thing before we could stop it. But again, we had a weird situation where they gave us all the tools we needed to stop it, just none of the mana to actually play the tools. And I had to get aggressive there on finding my land drops on curve with the Siphon. I could have left that alone and did this a couple of times, but ultimately I think if I didn't do that, I don't know, I feel like the outcome would have been the same anyways. Do it again. Yes, you have lethal on board, but you must do it again. You must let me feel the pain. I would say good game, but who's kidding who here? That was not a good game. All right, let's wrap it up with some final thoughts. That's gonna do it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it. This is the part of the video where we break this thing down and talk about things we liked and disliked about the list, and we can talk about things we might change. But before I do that, thank you all so much for making it this far into the video. I really appreciate all of you for that. You have no idea how much that actually means to me. It means the world, and it helps the videos grow and get out to more people when we get more watch time. So thank you for that as well. And yeah, with that being said, let's dive into it. So the Hullbreaker Horror, my new favorite card as of right now, is so freaking cool. It does so many cool things, and I cannot wait to reanimate it for cheap. Cheat this thing in on turn 4 or something like that. Could be extremely busted. But anyways, that's not something obviously we'd want to change in this list at all. Something that we could talk about though is that the original list that I put together with this, I actually considered throwing in like 2 Professor Onyxes, because it plays really well with the Hullbreaker as well, because, you know, Onyx really wants you to play cheap spells too, to just gain those life, you know, deal damage over time. It's, you know, once you're you're also finding spells to protect the horror with Onyx. So that was something I had in here before the All Runs Epiphany, but obviously All Runs Epiphany is better than any other card in the set, so it won the war on that front. As far as other things, I personally really like where the deck is right now. I think it's a lot of fun. I think we have a lot of tools that answer a lot of the meta right now. I wish there was a way to sift through the deck a little bit better though. You know, there is a counterspell Villain's Lair where you can counter a spell. Shoot, you can counter a spell, or you can kind of like just sift through 2 cards in your deck if you don't need them. This one right here, it gives you options. You can counter a spell, or you can kind of draw 2, discard 2, which allows you to get through your deck and cycle through cards that you don't need, because in some matchups, you know, the removal spells are just sort of dead, and in other matchups that's all you're looking for. So having the ability to just get through your deck quickly is really important, and this card doesn't do that. But this card is so good against All Runs Epiphany decks that if you don't have it, you're pretty much screwed. This Tide with Divide can just shut that deck down, but it's tough. We're kind of in a happy place though, where I really enjoy the deck. I don't really have any gripes about it. I'm going to leave it exactly how it is, but as always, I leave it to you guys. If you have any ideas on how to make this list any better, please leave it down in the comments below. It also helps the algorithm, but I also read them and I get a lot of feedback from those. So please let me know what you think of the list. I'd really appreciate that. And before we close this thing out and end it, as always, huge shout out to the Marty Mob. I saw we had a new member there the other day, so thank you so much for your new membership. And shout out to you guys. We have a new box opening coming soon. Whenever I get some time to make that video, I will do that. But we'll do a members only box opening of Innistrad Midnight Hunt. And yeah, that's gonna do it for today's video, guys. If you want to become part of the Marty Mob and help support the channel like these amazing people, you can hit that join button down below, or a link in the description below if you do not see that. That'll do it though, guys. We'll see you guys back here tomorrow for another video. Peace.
Hit him 3 times like a hat trick. The name is Swayze, no Patrick. Yeah. If you play him, then it's tragic. Hit him with the mythic, yeah, that's magic. Yeah, MTG, that's what you'll see if you like and subscribe. With the upload, man. Man, all of the time. Coming with the best decks, this is the meta. This ain't cheap, yeah.